So what happens? Just close your eyes for a while and mind has a habit of asking, receiving. Mind is always at a receiving end because of the pleasures, but it does not remind and recognize what we have been receiving from the existence. All the five elements which consist of the entire body, brain, mind, and the breath. You see that, you wake up in the morning, my house is big or small. So if it is small, I'll have to have a bigger house. So I'm always at asking and asking. Oh, asking. You're a teacher. You teach me. Teach me everything in today's session. And that causes the tremendous conflict. What is that? I think I discussed about it. I'll just remind you the person 2 and the person 3 in us. Outside we may be doing the namaste, but inside person 2 and person 3 is constantly asking. So there is another Mangalacharan, so beautiful. I love it. Tvameva mata cha pita, Tvameva bandhuscha sakha, Tvameva vidya dravinam, Tvameva sarvam mama devu deva. Literal meaning, existence, we are addressing that existence. Physical, mental, subtle. O existence, you are my mother, you are my father, you are my sibling, you are my friend. So I become aware of what I'm receiving from the existence. You are my knowledge, you are my wealth, you are my everything. And if you are everything, then you are the God. Just see that how I always love this. So with a heart full of gratitude, I recognize that all I know, all I know, all I do, all I think and feel flows from you. We are addressing you as an existence. So what happens? I release the ego that whispers illusions of performance and self-importance. So it is a shift in tone in our daily living. Just see that. It's a direct address to the existence which is present here and now. So now see that when we talk of our parents, mother and the father, sibling, friends and the knowledge, internally the person too recognizes that existence. And when you recognize that existence, that you are always receiving all the time, why to worry? Even if you don't ask, we are receiving. So when I'm receiving unconditionally, the existence is giving me unconditionally. Why shouldn't I be grateful? Last point in this Mangalacharan is that this being gratefulness or being grateful is not just to do it for a minute or so, but to remain in the state of being grateful all the time. Only that is going to help us. So it means what? We start working. How? By harmonizing outer layers of our existence, social, personal, professional life. Now you will see not only this kind of a focus is required to realize that real self. And in that mode, you open your eyes and be attentive to listening. So, awakening, we are awakening the timeless self. Why we see the timeless self? Because it is finding the inner peace all the time. Timeless. That peace is already there. So our master says, when you say I'm happy today, it is a wrong statement. I am happiness is the right statement. So it means the journey of the entire Eastern wisdom is moving from I am happy to I am happiness. So if you say I am happy, who is this I who says I am happy? Oh, my desires are fulfilled. My pleasures, what I'm seeking is fulfilled. So, okay, your desires are fulfilled at the age of 10, yes, 20, yes, 30, yes, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. Then why you have all those desires even at this age? Desires cannot be fulfilled. But what I'm receiving from the existence, that is why I exist, that is why I breathe, that is why I eat, that is why I'm able to digest the food. So what we are doing, we are getting rid of that ego, which has taken over many responsibilities and they are futile. Remember, you are doing everything as it is in your external life. How to get that moment of gratefulness? By constantly remembering, listening, and then remembering at every moment. Thank you all, internal. Thank you all because you have given me an opportunity to express these principles of Eastern wisdom. Now you see that it changes the entire perspective. In your life, you may be listening in a different mode and manner. That doesn't make any difference to me. That is the importance of the satsang. That is the importance of the satsang. We have already discussed satsang means the company of the real. That is one pet statement. But consistency in satsang, contemplation and reflection will help to bring about a change in the person 2 and the person 3 inside us. We discussed in detail in our previous session. Person 3 is full of vasanas coming from the current birth and the past birth, and the person 2 has the current impression. That is from where my attitude and behavior expresses, and person 1 is a consciously I am thinking, speaking, and acting in the world. So because person 2 and person 3 in me changes its behavior and attitude, that helps us to bring an end to the suffering. You hate somebody, person comes in front of you, but your ego says, no, I'm a good person, so I should not express it openly. So you don't express it openly, but internally the person 2 is fighting with you. Do you see? Person 2 is fighting with you. So your expression and your behavior and your attitude will undergo a change. So you see that how it ends the suffering by understanding. So when you are consistently listening and learning, You will remember these principles at those moments. What happens then? Thank you, existence. You have given me an opportunity to have a power of endurance in my intellect to get rid of the hatred of against this person. You are giving a way to the real self to come in front. Ah, then you recognize that this hatred is due to misidentification. What I have to do with it? Finished. That's a rule of the satsang. The satsang systematically exposes this misidentification in you, not in the society. So don't worry about it. What people will think of me. You become more and more aware. And in that field of awareness, you are able to drop your likes and dislikes, attachment and detachment. The life undergoes a change. So what happens? The satsang also helps you to lead to the self-knowledge. This is what we are trying to say, our masters are trying to say, as you start dissolving the impurities of the mind by understanding, contemplation and reflection, by in the mode of being grateful, then what happens? The ego does not show, does not veil, does not cover. That is the importance of satsang. Our main topic continues to be satsang in few more sessions. So simply we take it easy. Oh, satsang means, I have heard you and I have done, but the mind goes back. It becomes ungrateful. Ego takes over. Yeah, I have understood, but how we can practice humility, it is a practical word. No. That practice of satsang, the knowledge of the satsang can be applied in any situation, in every relationship. So I'm making it very simple. I've created a couple of models, but one model which appeals to me very much is the liberate model. Liberate, you know the spelling. Liberate is an acronym for the satsang. So first pick up. So the more and more you are consistently applying the liberate model in any situation, in your personal, professional and social life, or the moment you wake up in the morning. So just L means love for the real self. I have a love for desires. I have a love for the pleasures. You have to simply recognize love for the real self. Simply recognize in your mind when you wake up in the morning, or when you meet someone, or you're going for a business transaction, or you're talking to your honey, you're talking to your son. Love for real self within me, or love for the I love you, son, that's why I'm holding you back. And the son is already crazy over you. Just I. The I acronym means investigate. Investigate means asking in the mind, here and now, mind, where are you moving and why? B, breaks the attachment. So after investigation, B means you break the attachment. My son is in hospital. I have a sad face. My neighbor's son is in a hospital. I said, this happens, Now his son, is always crazy. So this is going to be the result. Are you understanding? The ego part? My son, I have a very sad face. I'm crying. On the same situation, same event, I'm not grateful to the existence. Liberate. Do you see the attachment? So B means you break the attachment by recognizing it, by asking the question. So once you drop the attachment, E means you eliminate delusion. You eliminate the traces of the delusion caused by the attachment. I'm talking about the satsang, how the satsang works. Everything is internal. You are mentally working on your mind. E, eliminate the delusion. Now you see, again I'm repeating. L means love your real self instead of loving your expectations, pleasures. Hold. So mind stops. Mind stops. Mind, you give a break to the mind. Bump. We say in US bump. Or you can say exit. So by thinking you have an exit, easy exit. Then no, you don't leave it, you investigate. B means you break the attachment by recognizing it. E means you eliminate the traces of that delusion left. What happens? R means you will instantly experience the relax and calm. And if you don't feel it, go back. Go back. Again think. What happened? Now A. Another letter is A. You aspire for real self. So in relaxation, when you desire and aspire for the real self, and when you started with the L, you will see a big difference. Your mind has calmed down, it is full of humility, it is in the state of awareness and attention, and you are aspiring for the real self. A. T means now the time you can transcend the limitations. And the last letter is E. You embody the real self instead of your ego. Awakening takes place. Oh, satsang leads to awakening, yes? Liberate model, which I call the liberate. Liberate. Oh, we already know the meaning of liberate. Liberation. So anywhere, in any situation, say you became angry, there is a chance. Go inside, apply the liberate model. So now out of that humility, even if other is wrong, you say, I became angry over this issue, that is wrong, and that is why I am sorry. Let us sit again and find out the solution. You are crying, your tears are there. Is it sympathy or empathy? Be very tough on yourself. Extremely tough on yourself is a sign of humility, and very humble to everyone outside in the world is also a sign of humility. Why I have to be tough on myself? Because I am undertaking the journey of transformation, of awakening and realization. I have to be very tough on myself. How dare you got sad? How dare you have a thought of hatred and anxiety? Let me apply this liberate model again. Let me see what happens. And when you apply it, it all depends on your level of seeking, your understanding in these years, your progress in these years. Liberate model will work. I told you before, there is another text which contains more than 3,000 or 4,000 pages. The entire journey is that you can be awakened by satsang in 7 days. So the master continues speaking to this seeker and he reaches to the highest. So based on 3 and 4 texts, I created this so-called the liberate model. Now if you go back and look at the very first step out of the 8 steps that I have been telling you, in the background you are practicing all those steps. Simple translation: seek the company of the wise. So wise here means the teacher, or the teacher who is well versed with the knowledge of the Eastern wisdom, and out of the humility he continues, he helps you to find that self-knowledge. Seek the company of the wise, that is first. But when you keep the company of the wise, you deepen your practice. How you deepen your practice? You have been applying it in your daily life, in karma. So you have knowledge and you have application. And then you realize in the third, oh, third, you recognize that there are a lot of challenges that I have coming from the person 2 and person 3. Do I need to dissolve there and then? Yes, you have to dissolve there and then, wherever you are. You are outside, you are in a hospital, you are in an event, you are attending any occasion, you are living in a relationship, you have to do this. Find out how you can do it. And the satsang leads to the self-knowledge. Satsang leads to the self-knowledge. So we are doing all those 8 steps, and we are covering the 3, 9, 10th and the 11th step. The 9th step is seek the company of the wise, means you are attending the satsang. 10th is deepen your devotion, means that I recognize. Devotion simply, don't say that devotion to the God, religious, organized religions. No, we are simplifying it. Devotion means that I recognize, I recall, and I remember the existence which has given me so much, which is consistently giving me so much. Sun does not send the bill to us. The air is independent. Air does not send us the bill. Water does not send us the bill. Municipality is different. I'm simply saying the water. So that, when you recognize that, well, I'm at a receiving end without demanding, and still there is a consistent giving by the nature or the existence. Why we are using these thought process? To get rid of the ego. Simple. Why ego? Because ego causes the attachment and delusion. Ego causes the attachment and delusion. So now you see that is the 10th step. So when we continue, you will recognize that there is a center of peace and the calm that cannot be disturbed by any thought, any activity, any occasion, any event. The first indication of moving towards the self-discovery. But in the 11th step, the master says that there are 6 treasures. You awaken to those 6 treasures in your life. We'll talk about that. So satsang, you can take it literally. It's a liberate. Liberate from what? That causes me the suffering. What causes me the suffering? It is the ignorance in the mind and the impurity in the mind and the projection. And then go to the liberate with each letter. You find out, I am angry, I am upset, I have a lot of challenges in my life, I want to commit suicide. It is all because of my attachment and delusion. If your mind is not able to express it clearly that these are not the reasons, you have to contemplate and reflect again. You have to contemplate and reflect again. Oh, did you add the sugar into the coffee? No. Oh, yes, if sugar is already there. You have to stir it. That stirring is contemplation and reflection. It is already there. Knowledge is already there. You have already heard. Did you understand? Example of the coffee cup I gave you, and you say, no, I take very sweet coffee, so add lot of sugar. And you take a sip and you say, oh, it's not sweet. It's already there, you know. Here is the spoon, you stir it. I'm just getting it so that it appeals to you. Stir it. It is not that you are going anywhere. You have to go back to what you have heard and what you have listened, and you do the practice. Finished. It is done. So we get upset, you know. Oh, I have to. What happened? You know, I did not pay attention. I was full of stress, or my mind was somewhere else. Yes, I request you with all humility. You have to pay attention what you are learning. What you are learning. You have to at least 1 hour of 100% attention is required. So there is another way to say satsang also means that you overcome the false I. Now see the other side of it. There are 100 different ways the satsang is defined. You remove the inertness of the intellect by satsang. You're triggering the intellect. Intellect is just the knowledge, or you receive the knowledge there. But if it is inert, why it is inert? Because I have a deep attachment and delusion towards the world. I have been constantly seeking. That is why we have a sense of inertness. So now you see another definition of overcoming the false I and removing the inertness of inertness of the intellect. At the same time, purification and transformation. What satsang demands consistency and repetition. My master used to say that satsang removes the poverty of the mind. Poverty is not outside. Poverty is inside. I have $1 million in the account. So I have $1 million. I have. Do you see? Apply the liberate model. I have. But dollar is in the bank. Label. That $1 million never said you that, oh, add a tag. Now the time has come. You add a tag to yourself. I have added the tag. So who is this I? Apply the liberate model, you will come to know. It is the greatest tool for realizing the real self. It is the tool to remember what is the truth. It is the tool how to settle in the higher consciousness. It is the tool by which you get rid of easy, small anxiety, duality, conflict in your daily life, and you are not at all. You remain indifferent, but internally you are full of joy. Why? You have applied the liberate model. Internally you are full. What is indifferent? You go to the mall you go to the food store to buy a bread. And other things are also available. You don't see them. That is indifference. Indifference is not that you became aloof and no. Consistency is the key. Discernment is the tool. Inner peace is our birthright. The real you is beyond the body and the mind. That is what the satsang is. That is what the satsang is. I told you, Sat means real. What is real? Unchanging reality. Unchanging, eternal, all pervading. As a hypothesis, like angles, I gave you an example. Sang. Sang means association, company. So instead of you are attached to something outside, for the sake of happiness, you get attached to the knowledge. That is also satsang. That is also satsang. And I believe you remember we have also defined the satsang. Satsang, you are doing it. Now, when you apply the liberate model, it leads to detachment or non attachment. So, when you are in the mode, that is why I explained you mode and the mood of the mind. So, when you are in the mode of detachment, it results into freedom from delusion. Mode. How can you change the mode? How much time it takes? How much clear about this knowledge of the Eastern wisdom you have, isn't it? It's not a matter of hours and days and weeks. So what happens now? Satsang leads to detachment. Detachment leads to freedom from the delusion. We have already understood. I discussed in detail. And that freedom from the delusion will help you recognize and realize that mind is always steady. It has nowhere to go. It is naturally focused. Why it is naturally focused? You live in a higher awareness. There is a rise in consciousness. At a higher consciousness, the mind is naturally steady. That is the mind by which we can find the real self. That is the point I wanted to make you. Now, let us start. Who will start? Just reflect in your own world. Who can take the lead? Anyone can take the lead.
I'll go. I think that when you find yourself struggling for the liberate model, the two focal points need to be the B and the E, right? And it's just another way, I think, to look at the steps of the satsang. So I starred those, I said, okay, break the attachment, eliminate the delusion. And you said that does so many times, right? I mean, that's like sort of the core of getting rid of it, but this is another nice way to look at it. Thank you.
Yes, you are right. So when I recognize in one hand that there is a real self, and then I see the attachment, and then I see the delusion. Yes, it will go away, definitely. It's a good point. Yes, Barbara, we have started 5 minutes of contemplation and reflection in every session now. So anyone can take the lead.
I could say something. For me, it was attachment. And I think attachment in itself is a delusion.
Yeah.
And it's a delusion of thinking you have control over what you're attached to or what you're not attached to. And that's something that I have to work on.
Yes, we have to work. And it is the best time you check that. Did I have an attachment at the age of 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40? And what is the result of the attachment? Always suffering. Why shouldn't I leave it? Where I have to leave, I have to just become aware of it. Finished. It is done. But it is done only for the seekers like you, not everyone. Yes. You are on a podium, Christina.
Now my legs are really shaking. the idea that indifference is not aloofness, I think, I don't know, I've had people say to me, I can be cold or aloof, or, you know, as a negative, when I know I'm really actually pulling back, right, from the attachment. And so I guess my question is, how do you reconcile that?
Simply recognize when I'm aloof, when I'm feeling sad, it is because of the attachment and delusion, as the Barbara says. Deep attachment is a delusion, and in the mode of a delusion, somewhere I see it is not possible to achieve the happiness here in this event, so I either I try to aloof or I try to fight. See? So I recognize any sense of aloofness or a negative attitude or a negative experience somewhere, it has to do with be. You have to work on be. Break the attachment and eliminate the delusion. How? By knowledge, by understanding, by lifting your awareness.
Girish, the thing that was very powerful for me today is the I am the everything. And what that does is that gives you the confidence, and we're always looking outside. We're looking outside for happiness. We're looking outside for solutions. We're looking, whatever. But the reality is we need to step back and know that we have it in ourselves. So that is a very powerful, as Jha would say, a very good power tool.
Yeah, yes. Step back, So when you investigate and asking the question, basically you are stepping back. Pay again attention. I'm attached to you. Mind is moving outward. I'm not stepping back. So stepping back means that you're what mind? Why you are attached? Why you are upset? Why you are hating? Why? What you will get? So you are awakening to that knowledge in the intellect that lifts your awareness. It's very subtle. I won't say use the word psychology, but it's a modern, very subtle tool of the Eastern wisdom. It links your modern psychology with the spiritual awareness. Rightly said. Yes. Stephen and Dennis, whosoever wants to take.
Yeah, I can take it. I was thinking about your the beginning of the lesson when you were explaining being grateful, and I think it is very easy to be grateful at the moment of joy and happiness, but it is more important to remember about being grateful at the moments of suffering, to recognize that this suffering at this moment lets me know what in me causes the suffering, and it explains to me what I can do to remove that suffering. And being grateful is also about resolving this internal conflict between the person one and person two, and aligning what I want to do with what I have to do. And when that happens, then that brings the internal peace inside of me.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I'll talk once the Stephen summarizes about you. You have raised a very wonderful point. Yeah.
During most of the classes and today, what really stands out is you always use the term consistency and constant and so on. And to me, it's consistent self-reflection. Both during the real self times and both during the ego, to be able to just self-reflect of what is making me feel the happiness and the joy, and what is the pieces that trigger, and it just can't always be about the negative. You have to step through this thing, and for me, I've slowed everything down. I'm not trying to rush anything. I'm just trying to, just try to stay as present as possible. And Christina, it was interesting what you said about the indifference or aloofness of other people. And the first thing that pops to my mind is that that's their problem. It gives you an opportunity to self-reflect on yourself that basically says, like, I'm just trying to be indifferent. If you perceive me as aloof, okay, what is that case? But I'm just trying to be indifferent, and that's okay. So, because you're on a different journey than I am.
Yes.
So, and that's challenging to me because there is nobody around me, with the exception of David and Jeree, that are on this journey with me. So my challenge is dealing with everybody else and trying to, read what they're trying to say and do and how they look at me. And it's becoming less and less important. So that's what I have to say.
That is why I told you, don't start from your home. You will be in trouble. I had a lot of trouble with the same people. I don't want to say. But now, when they recognize, it's totally different. It's totally different. I want to raise the 2 points. Yes, consistency and regular, and regarding aloofness, Stephen made it clear. Now, when you follow that, I'm grateful to what? To the entire existence who is keeping you alive, whom I hate. Oh, the same existence is keeping you alive, and the same existence is keeping me alive. Does the existence has a hatred? No. So what happens? What happens when you think that, or simply when I'm grateful? A sense of humility dawns in your mind, and that prepares the mind for your satsang. That is how the Dennis briefed it. So it means your ego will give you a push. Oh, he's a crazy guy. He harmed me. But on the other side, the power of the satsang will melt it. For example, your mom, your dad, your parents may be the craziest people. One thing is sure, they have given birth to me. Had I been born in the family of mosquito or donkeys, that much gratefulness I have with it. Now I'm living my life. That is all. So that sense of gratefulness transforms the mind. And it will help you to enter into the state of meditation easily. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed. Where peace? No, sorry. Place, position, and posture. Place, position, and posture. You can apply this place, position, and posture also when you face a difficult situation in your relationship, at home, outside, in your office, or in your professional and social life. Just remember place, hold on, position, posture, then being comfortable. Check you are comfortable. Tell your mind, I'm not influenced by what is happening outside. Mind will be influenced. How? Again, I'm giving you an example. Person 2 and person 3 will come back. Now go to being carefree. And you see, all these steps will definitely help you. I'm just giving you a very pragmatic approach to your meditation. So you are practicing meditation with eyes open in your personal, professional, and social life. And then the flow of the breath. You're aware of the flow of the breath. So you are aware of the flow of the breath minus attachment and detachment when you have done the first 3 steps correctly. Place, position, posture, comfortable, and carefree. So in that state of the carefree, you see the tools of attachment and tools of freedom. The world is an opportunity for me. It is the first neighbor. It is an opportunity for me to rise in awareness. Or it is also an opportunity to fall into unconsciousness, into pleasure, into attachment, into ignorance. I have both the opportunity. Parents are the same. It is my sense of how do I feel it. Second, body. Extreme attachment to the body, sense of I-ness in the body causes lot of challenges, and body is simply an instrument for me. Now you see that I'm changing the tone in the meditation. We'll talk in detail. Third neighbor is the energy, the life. Life in lion, in mosquito, in plants, in all the living beings is the same. Life is one common denominator. We will talk about it. So then the fourth neighbor is the mind that we know. Check that. Do I have duality and a conflict, or I'm listening and absorbing completely? Very good. I'm absorbing completely. That is the result of the satsang, because the mind has reached to a state of maturity. Fifth, I thought in the intellect. Do I have any likes and dislikes? No, I'm free. And then the sixth is the ignorance. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. You are repeating again that same Mangalacharan. You are rechecking that everything is in order. That is why I have put the Mangalacharan in the practice also. Sarve, let everyone be happy. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness. Sense of incompleteness triggers the mind to search happiness outside. That is your desire. Desire leads to the craving. With desire fulfilled, greed takes over. Desire unfulfilled, hesitation takes over. So in both the cases, once the desire for fulfillment, desire for happiness begins in my head to make an effort, that effort continues, either through the greed or to get rid of the hesitation. And because of the result, my mind prompts me to action. Why action? Again go to the incompleteness, and it's a vicious circle. That is what the master is saying. May there be completeness for all. What you do by liberate model, you know it. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. So now you are settled. I'll explain you what there are 5 or 6 factors of being settled. Being settled means that you're totally free. And in that freedom, you are looking at the breath, and you start breathing little deep, silent and slow, and moving the mind. As you inhale, move the mind from the top center of the head into the spine, reaching to the tailbone, saying mentally Om Shanti, while moving the mind from the tailbone during exhalation into the spine, reaching to the top of the head. You are saying mentally Om Shanti. Mentally you are singing Then contemplate and reflect. Why this step like this? What happens by this? You are checking the flow of the mind. It is a flow, it doesn't break up. Well, it doesn't break up, then what? Is it a steadiness of the mind? I'm just questioning, you have to think of it. That is what we did in satsang. It is deep, silent, slow breathing you're aware of. Mind is moving into the spine, the two ends of the spine we have configured, if I use the word, the top center of the head to the tailbone. It's a configuration just to help the mind. And then you are dropping Om Shanti. So all the three movements are together. If you contemplate and reflect on the nature and the quality of the steadiness of the mind, our mind in delusion thinks a steadiness means that it is totally fixed, there is no movement in the mind. Wrong. Then what it is? That is you can experience in this step. The mind consistently moving on the spine, consistently saying Om Shanti, consistently aligning with the inhale and exhale is the steadiness of the mind. No, but it's moving, yes. We have a very wrong perception and understanding. It has come from modern psychology, thanks to them. Now leave it, return to the flow of the breath again, and drop Om Shanti on the 16 segments of your fingers. And we already discussed whether you are doing the long chanting or short chanting, doesn't matter. It depends on the mood of your mind and also the mood. Only one thing, that mood and the mood align together, and it is dropping Om Shanti on the 16 segments without any disruption, distraction. Now, moving the mind inside the heart, visualizing the triangle, moving the mind on each side, dropping Shanti, clockwise and anti-clockwise. There's a subtle difference. We are checking, is the mind naturally steady? And if that is so, move the mind, push the mind deep inside the cave of your heart, singing Om. You recognize mind seemingly stops, you drop Shanti, and after that you are in a state of doing nothing. Doing nothing, non-doer. So there is a conscious recognition that doer and the enjoyer are not there. Means very subtlest ego is not there. There is a positive ego also. Why? You wait for a revelation. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences, bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences if you have any question. How are you, Brandy?
I'm good, thank you. When we went into the cave of the heart and I was awaiting the revelation, I realized how impatient I am, and I was like, huh. And that was the revelation, is that when I make the space and make the time, like I want whatever's supposed to come to be immediate, and that's not always the way things work. And so it was kind of telling to me, I was like, wow, that's bigger than just in this moment in meditation. I think that's
Yes, that
yeah.
is beautiful. Beautiful state, or I want to, a state of timelessness. In the beginning, we are using the word state. A sense of, in that state only, the revelation takes place. When the mind bypasses its own creation of time, space, and the objective reality. That is where the meditation takes us to the next level. Beautiful. How are you, Dennis?
You briefly explained the steadiness of the mind in the meditation, and that triggered some contemplation. And I think that steadiness is not when there's no motion in the mind, because it is not possible. The motionless mind is a dead mind. But steadiness is when the mind is confined to the inner territory, to the inner space, and when it is not allowed to do its own business of generating random thoughts and wandering all the time outside. And that was, I compared that experience of whether the mind is steady versus how it behaves in the everyday life. And I think to some extent there was a steadiness in the mind, in my mind in the meditation. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yes, that is one explanation Dennis said. Another explanation of steadiness of the mind, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, mind. Mind is saying Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Your mind is aware. Om Shanti, Om Shanti. There is no distraction between it, and there is a continuous flow of Om Shanti. Om. That is steadiness of the mind. In modern psychology, we have only two types, perhaps. Chris and I will talk more in detail. It's an oscillation of attention. That is what we say. The mind will even it is oscillation. Om Shanti, Om Shanti. But there is only one thought, one object, or continuity of one object. That is what we want to achieve. And when you achieve that, meditation is just a play and a fun. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good. Thank you. The staying with what I said earlier about the consistent and constant self-reflection. I at the post practice today, I was like, wow, Monday's practice was one of my deeper practices, and today was the same. Why? And I actually realized, or I believe, that it's because of the conversation that we have pre-practice eliminates my contemplation or reflection of the lesson at the start of my practice. So my practice is just complete calm and quietness, and it was extremely deep, and I'm very grateful and thankful for it. So thank you.
Beautifully said. That is why I have been saying knowledge practice has to go together. Ignorance practice will go together. It will create a problem. What is ignorance? Driving the car, I don't know. I'm sitting on the driver's seat and I start driving. Ignorance, and so the same thing applies to the meditation also. So what happens? Knowledge comes by consistent contemplation and reflection. So my reference that I lived with my master 26 years is this. How can you live physically 26 years? Leave that, How are you, David?
Thank you. The kind of like Stephen's point, I think the meditation for me was a lot deeper and a lot more reflective because we had that little sort of pregame thing, as my daughter would call it. The thing through the whole meditation, though, that I kept repeating in between the Om Chantis and so on was, I am my everything, I am present. I am my everything, I am present. And I then started having a contemplation about, because you brought it up about past lives and past impressions. So I just made the decision to just let all of that go and put a wall up and just be present, and I am everything and be present. So not sure if just ignoring the past lives and the past impressions is the way to go, but that's what I did. Thank you.
I am and I'm that works. That works fine. So why it works fine? We have to recheck whether my reflection is working or not. If it is not working, go to the basics again. But if the reflection is working, helping me to rise in awareness, that is better and it is helping. That is how our masters help each seeker in the past. That's a good point. How are you, Barbara?
I'm good, thank you. I really liked your reference during the cup to find the sweetness,
Okay.
because there's the beauty, the knowledge, it's all there. You just have to put in the effort to find it.
Yeah. I have to stir it. I have already passed on the knowledge to you, but I don't stir it. Why I don't stir it? Because I don't contemplate and reflect on it. So there is a consistent contemplation, reflection. Otherwise, the old mind will take over me and will return to the same delusion and attachment and reaction. So we have to reach to a state where the mind is scared of causing any attachment. At present, it has a luxury of causing the attachment. I say, this is what the life is. How are you, Christina?
Thank you. I think I was able to notice just more of an ability to observe the wandering mind and to come back and not getting so lost in those thoughts.
Yes. That is also a very good point, So it means, when you say I become more capable of observing the thought, at least one thing is clear. What I observe is always separate and different from me. The core principle of Eastern wisdom, what I see, what I feel, what I experience, the object that I see is always different from who observes. And that is one of the main points of realization in meditation. What happens if they are different? One is objective reality. Let me drop the entire objective reality. Then who am I? Who is the observer? So we start searching there. And there we go deeper. Very good, wonderful. That we will continue our journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.